All right, welcome back to another update for the Slow Growth Investing channel. This is going to be for December, but also for the year. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So Robinhood, this is going to be a little bit more of an amount than usual just because I'm showing everything instead of just the stocks. But 3 shares of Target, we are sitting at $89.68. So we are up a little bit since this is at $100. So this is paying off a little bit. We're at 12% up, and then we've received some dividends too. So this has been good. I would like it to dip. I actually paused it because it was going up quite a bit actually. So I think this is when I paused it when I did this jump. So I was trying to buy in here, and we've been buying since it kind of bottomed out in this area. So I wish I would have bought more, but I'm glad I have a little bit, and a 12% gain is nothing to scoff at. We are getting a little bit higher than the dividend yield that it's showing now since we bought it. So I think we're getting closer to 5% instead of 4.5%. So that's pretty nice. Target is up. A second thing that we can look at here is going to be Meta. So we're at 0.71 shares for Meta now. We have 463. We are down quite a bit. Well, maybe not quite a bit, but 6%. But we are still getting dividends from this one, and I am still weekly buying this one. So honestly, I think once I get a share, I might just call it for the time being, because I think the money that I'm putting into Meta could go into my other portfolio where it's more dividing into more things. But I don't know. We'll just see, and I'll keep rocking with it. I'll honestly probably forget about it since 25 is kind of a negligible amount. I started a Netflix position just because if the Paramount deal does go through, I would like to have kind of a hand in that. I don't think people realize how much people spend on their phone and just all the time that's wasted watching Netflix or Paramount. I think if they do acquire, not Paramount, but Warner Bros., and they can start producing movies and stuff like that, I think they're really going to be in line to make a ton of money, a ton more than they have already. And they're already making a ton of money without even having their own studio. So I'm pretty happy to own this stock, and I think it's going to do good long term. So I like that it's dipping. I'm going to just keep trying to buy more. A very small amount, you can see, but since the stock did split, I'll be getting a couple of shares here pretty soon. And then I think eventually down the line, this will be one that they kind of have reached their potential. They'll start paying a dividend. And if I can get in early, obviously that'll be a higher yield on cost. So I'm excited for that. And then I think last but not least that we can look at is Honest. Again, these last two don't really have any dividends, but just to look at the performance for the year. So this one I'm down quite a bit in. I'd like to get another 100 shares or so and then just keep buying and selling calls rather. I don't have any calls going right now, but I'll probably get another one and just get the extra $10 or whatever it might be, since this one has kind of flatlined. So you can see I was buying all throughout here, and then it took a pretty big tumble, even though they were pretty close on their sales. I forget where you look on Robinhood, but you can see that they about hit it. So it was what I expected. I wish it wasn't a such a big sell-off, but I'll keep buying this one. Maybe I should turn on a auto buy so I can get a share a day or something like that and just dollar cost average, but we'll see. Now let's get into M1 Finance. We are sitting just below 6K in this one. Let's go ahead and just look at our holdings. I don't think I've added a whole lot of anything the past month or two just because it was Christmas. So I think I just have it going either like 30 or $50 a week or something like that. But you can see for our biggest, share count, we can see is SCHD followed by JPQ. And then for our cost basis, those are still our biggest ones. And then AMD is following that. And you can kind of see what's what. But I think everything that I put in the portfolio for now, we actually have a little bit in each. We go into portfolio here. We can go into growth plays. And this is just kind of where I have everything. Yeah, we have a little bit of everything now. So I'm excited about that. I did add Costco. I also added MasterCard. So I rearranged some of these a little bit. MasterCard has a pretty cool thing where they're being able to, since they have all the data when you make a purchase and where you make the purchase and stuff like that, they're able to monetize that. So I think that's going to be big for them. I think it might be a little bit bigger than Visa, but we'll see. I think both is good to have. So I have MasterCard at 20 and Visa at 10. I've always held Visa. I've always liked Visa, but MasterCard I think will be a good play as well. And I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. Now let's go ahead and go back one time. Let's go ahead and bop into track your dividends. You can see kind of wrapping up the end of the year, even though it is January now, you can see that we're generating 255, yield on cost of 4, and then 3.67. So my goal, I think, for the year of 2026 is just get this annual income to 1,000, and then the portfolio will grow as it grows. I'm hoping for a pullback here pretty soon, just so that there's a better buying opportunity, but we'll see really what happens, and then we'll go from there. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and go into the dividend tracker. I haven't updated this all the way in terms of what shares I have, how many I have, etc., but I did put in all the dividends. So I just want to show for December, these are the dividends we received, and then I wanted to go ahead and calculate what we received for December. So if we actually just scroll over, it's done for us. We got $31 in December, and then for the whole year, we got 240. So that annual, even though we started this in May, we almost reached that, but that is mostly because we were investing in Misty and Ulti and stuff like like that, that these aren't really sustainable. So I did remove those. I'm kind of dumb on my part, but you learn. So at least I didn't have a huge amount like some people do, and they're just losing all their capital. But yeah, got rid of those. So it's going to be, we should beat this number next year, but we had quite a big start just because we had those things, even though it was halfway through the year. So that's the December and kind of yearly recap and some of my goals. Hopefully, if you tuned in for some of the episodes, you're enjoying it, and I'll try to keep these going month to month. So we will see you on the next one.